My name is Andrew and this is Rogue Wrenching. Today we are here for a much more serious video, and that is to talk about what is, in terms of dollars and cost to the company that I work for, the biggest mistake of my career. I guess let's start from the beginning. Customer came in with a 2001 Chevy Duramax, this one right here, and they needed fuel injectors in this truck, or actually injectors and a pump. So in the course of doing the injectors, one of the injector cups, actually two of the injector cups came out with the injectors. The injector cup is a metal, it's a steel sleeve that goes into the cylinder head, and it seals the top with O-rings, and then it's like a press fit into the bottom with a straight cone that has sealant around it, and then there's a taper above that seals as well. So what had happened is when I pulled two of the injectors out, two of the cups came out with the injectors. Not really a big deal. Reseal them, put them back in. You use red Loctite on the bottom, and you lubricate and replace the O-rings on the top and install them. What I did wrong is I stuck the cup into the hole, and then I used a driver and a hammer, and I hit it until it went into its home. And when I did that, it was not straight going into the hole, and so the end of the injector cup or injector sleeve, depending on whether you're reading service literature or talking about just the part in general, the end of the injector cup took a large gouge out of the tapered sealing surface on the coolant side of the seal in the cylinder head. You can see that in this image right here. This little section here is that chunk that's missing out of that sealing surface. When it did that, it also deformed the end. As you can see on this picture of the cup, you can see this end right here where these black marks are. That's the soot that leaked past it. That's where it's deformed. And then here's a picture of the cylinder head, and you can see that bit of aluminum that's been rolled out by the deformed cup as it was pushed through. So to make a long story short, I did something really stupid, and it ended up costing the company I work for something in the vicinity of $3,000 to $4,000 to make this right by the customer. Because I work for a company that has integrity, this repair was completed at no cost to the customer. All he had to do was bring his truck back, and we fix it at no extra charge because we screwed it up. And when I say we, I mean me. So I guess the moral of this story is, A, if you're not sure on a procedure, to look it up and figure out how to do it before you go beating on things with a hammer. And the other thought to that is, if you know you've made a mistake, stop and evaluate the best way to fix it. In this case, we had to replace the cylinder head on this truck because this damage is not repairable. And the next thing is, well, this mistake actually has kind of a second part, which is almost in a way the bigger problem, which is that I let the truck go. So end of the day on Friday, the guy had driven like an hour to come pick up his truck, and it was presenting with air pockets that kept showing up in the cooling system, which I was pretty sure was that cup because it didn't feel right when it went in. And that's what it was. And I let that truck go knowing there was a problem, and that is entirely on me. I'm not really sure what to say, I guess, to my boss, who decided not to fire me, which is great, and to my coworkers and my colleagues at my shop, because I tarnished your reputation when I did this, is I'm sorry. I don't know what else to say. But I've learned from this mistake. I am now very well versed in the proper procedure for that particular job, and also I've changed my MO for how I quality control check vehicles before they go out the door. So I've made changes to ensure this doesn't happen again, but it happened. So I think what I want to do with this video is try to share an experience that I had with all of you and encourage you that even guys that do this every day of the week, guys that specialize in things, they still make dumb mistakes sometimes. And that doesn't mean that you're a bad technician or a bad person or if you're just a DIY guy, doesn't mean you're a bad tech, doesn't mean you're bad at what you're doing. It just means you made a mistake. Recognize that you made the mistake, fix the mistake, and move on with life. That's all there is to it. Unless you're like me and you can come and make a video about it, then feel free to do that. But I guess I just want to say, mistakes get made in every area of our life. Like, there's always going to be a mistake, and if you think you made the worst mistake, I guarantee there's someone else that's made a worse one. Hi, I'm Andrew. I just made a $4,000 mistake. Anyways, people make mistakes all the time. So really the important thing to do with a mistake is to recognize it, identify what went wrong that made that mistake, and then change your process so that it doesn't happen again. If you make the same mistake over and over and over again, that's a problem. If you're learning from your mistake and you never make the same mistake twice, is it really a mistake because you're learning from it? It's a learning experience. So anyway, I guess be encouraged that not everybody is perfect. Well, nobody's perfect. And even professionals make mistakes sometimes. And so, yeah, that's kind of all I've got for you guys today, is just, I don't know, I wanted to share this story, and definitely a humbling moment, humbling week. It took a while to get it fixed, but that's kind of the skinny on what happened, or what I did in that story. And yeah, I guess if you saw my post about it earlier, then share what your guess was as far as dollars. The number is roughly $4,000 that this mistake cost my company. So I guess that's that. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.